Okay, thank you. As it's 6:08. This is a meeting of the Pacc Public Access Cable Committee. We are meeting in hybrid at the library. If anyone cares to join us, please do so. The number is up on the town calendar. So Joe just left. It's something we said. The by roll call, Mr. Serapis, are you here?
Yes, present.
Excellent, good job, Mr. Lincoln.
Excellent. I am. You're excellent.
That's an interesting way of
I
doing it.
will.
Mr. Ashenbaugh
Present.
and Ms. Beal, how about that?
That's perfect.
And
Present.
Steve Walker as chair is present, so we have a quorum. Are there any public comments? Oh, Joe, are you here?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, we did the roll call, you walked up. It was slightly confusing.
Sorry.
So Joe is here as well. Public comments, hearing none. Are there any committee comments? Definitely silence.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Yes,
Here.
and to you. Any communication?
I have just a question. We have an email from Joe that has the meeting times for the FinCon. Is that something that's going to be discussed on the agenda tonight?
It'll be in Joe's report. It's yeah, it's the budget. Which we have time, but we'll address it when Joe reaches in her report. Anything further from anybody? The minutes from our previous meeting, which was Monday, December the 5th. Anybody have any comments on the minutes?
Compliments on Paul and Steve on putting together an amazing document.
Yes.
This is impressive. I liked it.
If you try to flatter me to get me to take over, take it.
You're welcome to.
Yes.
Sorry, I was waiting my turn, but we did have some questions back and forth with Steve around if the minutes from the previous November meeting were the ones that we in fact approved in the December meeting. I don't think in the language, looking at the Zoom after I took the minutes,
Mhm.
I didn't hear minutes of November meeting.
Right here. Well, you have it written down.
Okay, so it is, okay, so it was taken,
It's sent in, it's already published.
then that's it, we're good.
Thank you. I actually love the way people stay on top of some of this stuff because
So it's
not my favorite thing to get there. Okay, anyone else have any comments on the minutes?
A motion we pass the minutes as presented.
Second.
Any further comment, discussion? I guess as we're hybrid, we'll do it by roll call. Mr. Sarapis,
I,
Mr. Link,
Aye.
Mr. Ashenbaugh.
Abstain.
No, that's
I can't
correct. He
vote
wasn't
on it.
here.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, it just made me laugh.
you would look into the mix.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, I wasn't here. I can vote on.
Yeah,
Ms. Veal.
aye.
There you go. I is good. And I from me as well. Spelled with two E's. Just for the fun of it. Okay. Managers monthly report.
Okay, this is Joe McLaughlin speaking. In your packet, the first page, as usual, is the overview of the last 6 months of our expenses. What revenue and
Give me
expenses.
another copy.
Oh, yeah, I do. There's nothing new of note here, although the November interest payments were not in there when I did the November report. So I had to go back and add in the interest in November, which equaled over $1,000. Yeah, that was interesting.
Where did
There
that
were
come
two deposits in November that added up to
from? Oh,
$1,087.
but there's no deposit in October,
No deposit in October.
so that's what it is, it's 2 months worth.
It must be. And then this month's was $685.
Hmm.
So that's not too bad. So the bottom line balance that we have right now, the ending balance is $925,863.
So looking at August and November, but those are the 2 months in which we received payment from in revenue.
Comcast, yeah,
Yeah, and it's only Comcast.
right, and it went down. Not even $1,000, so it wasn't too bad. So the next one will be, I believe, February, yeah,
It's supposed to be,
and then May,
it's
yeah.
not always very accurate when it
Also, it's
comes
quarterly. I see.
to quarterly.
Yes.
That's actually a good sign. What we can't tell from that, well, we get a percentage of their video services. Video services can go down if people cut cables. And we're hearing tales of a lot of people cutting cables. They can go down because people cancel expensive services like HBO Showtime, things like that. They can go up if there's a new building in town and people living in it and they sign up for cable. What I'm seeing here compared with what Joe and I have heard at the various meetings we've been to, we're not seeing anything much in the way of cable cutting. There are people talking 5 and 6%.
Yeah, no, we're not seeing that. In fact, sometimes we go up.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
It's
So it's a percentage of their gross revenue, so like, for example,
for video services.
for video, not internet, but for video.
Exactly.
So, because I have like the cheapest of the tiers, like
Yeah,
the local stations in us, basically.
that's
So-
for the elderly.
Yeah, so it's. My goes, okay, I get it.
But there are so many different things you can look on, I bet we have 20.
You know, we have
Every time something new comes out, Paramount Plus comes out, oh my
Oh,
God, we gotta get
HBO,
that.
Disney Plus.
Yeah,
okay,
but
so,
Paramount Plus does not give us revenue,
But isn't the service you pay for?
but it comes through the internet. So it's not a video service.
So what service you talking about?
What we're talking about is Xfinity services. So that's, ESPN, the cable package that they send you. a bill.
CNN, they
Yeah.
may include things like HBO in their Xfinity, or is that?
Oh, you can subscribe to that separately, but because it's a video channel,
Yeah,
that one would benefit us. Paramount Plus is a streaming service, comes in through the internet and doesn't count as a video service.
such as
That's my
Netflix, so Netflix,
How about,
Netflix the same,
how about
Amazon
YouTube? How about
Prime,
YouTube.
YouTube, it's
Same
internet.
thing?
Yeah,
Streaming.
yeah. This is
But you
what
still
they
pay for them.
You do, but not, and it may pass through in Xfinity. So it may be on your Xfinity bill, but it's not part of Xfinity services. There's a bill supposed to be wandering through, I don't know where it stands, because a lot of that stuff they have to restart. Now there's a new House and Senate entrance.
you talking state legislature? or-
State.
Okay, go on.
And this one is that a percentage of streaming revenue. So 40% would go to us, 40% to the
It's
town,
2020,
and 24,
uh,
240 to the 20. I think.
yes.
20 for
40 goes to
administration.
the state, 20 goes to
Oh, okay,
the town,
thought that was the other way around.
and 20 goes to something,
So it's
something
yours.
of that.
This, I thought there was 20% for administration, in other words, the state keeps that. And then 40 went to the town and 40 came to us.
So where's the profit left? over? They get the other
No,
50%?
so we get, no, that comes to 100%.
Yeah, I'm getting lost.
Yeah.
40, 40,
But-
20.
It's 5%, I think. You know, I haven't seen that number yet. I think it's 5% of their revenues for internet.
For
Yeah.
internet,
But this
Oh,
new.
yeah.
or for
this-
video
yeah.
services,
Of that 5%, it's the 40.
Yeah, you get 20 goes here, 40 goes there, and we get 40.
So they can give away
The,
to-
the idea is as cable cutting happens, because they're still using the same infrastructure.
Right, our poles and wires or whatever.
Right.
Right.
Franchise.
Rights away. Then
Yeah.
they're trying to actually preserve public access through the state. This has been done in other states. So it's not exceptional that Massachusetts is doing it. But every time it gets into committee, they sit around, I believe, and have cups of coffee and conversations. and it Doesn't quite make it out.
Yeah.
It got really close this
Like
last time.
utility, same.
Yeah.
Goes back and back and back. So it's
It's still looking confused.
I don't know. I understand.
Okay. Right now,
If I'm paying for TV channels or whatever they are.
yeah, you
I'm
pay,
paying for them.
you pay for them.
But
We don't
they-
get anything from that.
Yes,
Only if they go through Comcast,
To the
because
box, yeah.
So when it's
they're,
everything else, we get nothing from the streamers.
right,
Not, yeah.
not yet.
not yet, yeah.
You
So that
summed it
goes-
up beautifully, thank you.
That goes directly to the company then?
Oh, yeah,
We get nothing from it.
we get nothing from it. We only get it from
Correct.
Even
video.
though they use a pole.
That's correct.
That's not fair.
It's even, that's right.
No,
They would
but
get
the,
that.
but the state
We
is,
don't get a piece of the internet service either.
the state is working on that.
That's what the state is working on so that we
So
would
we
get some
would
of
get a
that.
piece of it, and the state would too.
This is left over from an old law, I don't remember what year this one came in. That we can get up to 5%, which is what we do get. But at the time that was originally done, there was no concept of internet anyway. So I can have another conversation with you if you prefer. So
But
Well,
that's something
we'll,
also,
we'll get dropped into it, and that's the kind of thing that gets asked at town meeting.
and also, it's something that the group that you,
mass access.
Mass Access, is working on and representing our group.
Yeah,
They're essentially a lot.
Lots,
right,
yes.
they have attorneys associated with them dealing with this. Which
As
is
do the
one way.
cable companies.
Yes.
Oh, they're thrilled with it, of course.
Well, the wheels of progress go slowly, so.
I'm sorry, Joe, that was one sentence of yours we just took apart.
That's okay. Okay, so anyway, the top sheet, it tells the whole story, and that's what we'll be using when we review the budget, because as you can see on the right side, the totals, we can use that information as a 6-month mark on FY 23 on how much we've spent. So that's a valuable spreadsheet.
Are you going to talk more about the budget or? Okay, good.
Next sheet is broken down amounts that are on the other spreadsheet, and of course, our lovely Munis financial report. If you want to check any of my numbers, it's fun. Next we have calendars. We kept pretty busy in December, although things were a little bit slow. Matt Monroe started in December. He was hired in November. He's been doing a good job so far, so that's going really well. We're continuing to do basketball games, but they are not being live broadcast because Sizer IT, who we contract with, is upgrading the high school, middle school infrastructure to communicate with town hall, which is who we need to communicate to when we're over there. So until they said after the holidays, they were going to work on it during the holidays, and it should be, I guess about 3 weeks ago, she said it should be about 2 or 3 weeks. So
It's not July the 4th holiday.
no, no. So I need to follow up with her, but we haven't been able to do any live broadcasts from there.
Question on that, Joe. So, when we are in live broadcast, I'm gonna imagine that it saves us some overhead costs because there's no editing or processing of the video when it comes back to studio before you put it back out
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Titles, credits. Well, we don't even do credits, titles.
So you just stream it live, goes up to the YouTube feed afterwards, and that's the end of it.
Mhm.
Not any real post-production work on it.
No, like I said, just the title at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So light stuff. So that's good.
yeah.
And you don't use the AV matrix for that, do you? The whole-
I have not,
Okay.
no, just the encoder.
Yeah.
January is chock full of
Oh,
work.
excellent.
Yeah, we're keeping very busy on that, so you could just peruse through and see what we have, but they're mostly our typical meetings.
In January on the 6th, which is last Friday, how did the interview with Lori Holden go?
I needed to change that. That was pushed to the 13th.
So you haven't yet interviewed her?
No.
She's the woman that gets drunk driving.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so she'll be coming in this Friday. Yeah, we started working on that. I didn't note in the December calendar, we did 2 Storytime Christmas episodes. So that went really well.
That was cute the way you did all the background things.
Yeah, I used an animated background
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
green screen for that.
Those are cool.
Fireplace?
No,
Snowflakes.
snowflakes and
Yeah.
snowmen and
Oh, tempting nature, thank you.
yeah. So we did really well. We added 8 new programs last month, and that's listed in the program analysis. Which if
Are
you
we
turn,
getting close to being short of resources, or are we managing?
well, we're managing at the moment. Every now and then I'll have an assignment. Like the town manager wanted us to cover the APDC
Mhm.
meeting. I called everyone, they were unavailable. My last call, the videographer was available.
Okay.
So occasionally that happens. But most of the time, I'm doing okay. We do have an opening for another videographer
Okay.
with the town, so I can definitely tap into that.
Mhm.
So I haven't yet, but I'm getting Matt trained and familiar with everything, and then we'll go from there.
It's good.
If you go to the program analysis on the next page, you guys don't have the color version, but we're up to 63 programs for the year. And we are 63% local programming on air. And excuse me, 38% of our programming is informational, 16% is events, and 16% is entertainment. Sports is getting up there in the 16% range. So that keeps growing.
All we need is a network.
Right. Last month, I met with the superintendent and our IT networking guy, Dan Nataraski, at the Lunenburg High School, Middle School. We wanted to test out their hybrid meeting that they're trying to put together. I ordered an encoder. It wasn't a data video. It was a much cheaper one. And it did not work at all. And I spent like an hour on the phone with their help desk, and they were just useless. So they just returned the encoder. And I've suggested a second one to them.
Same as we use.
No, it was a black box one.
Oh, Black.
Oh, Black Magic, yeah,
They have a very good reputation.
yeah, they do.
They're like super high res, videos that was the same
Oh,
company, yeah. Like red, black magic.
Yeah, so I worked on that and we'll be getting back together again to do a second test.
when they're live, they will be on the educational channel. or
They will go
educational,
live educational channel.
Not government as well. I'm just concerned with. Got so many meetings going on,
Yeah,
the ones that can honestly be put on educational channel is a good idea, if they can be honestly put on.
yes, they can be. I'll just create an input and cast as
Yeah,
for that. We have 3 new affiliates with our mass access database. Oh, I'm sorry.
it's the
Should I
affiliate
get
from
up
the
and yell and
Caribbean.
dance?
Esoteric.
Is that the Caribbean affiliate, Joe?
That sounds Middle Eastern to me.
Voodoo channel.
Sorry. Forgive me about that.
Okay, anyway.
Joe, anything that gives us a little levity is always.
Okay. The affiliates are Herndon, Virginia. One, the Caribbean station. I don't know where that is. It didn't tell
I
me.
Didn't know that.
And Kenilworth, New Jersey.
It could be like the Virgin Islands or something. With the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, it's probably money laundering somehow.
Will be we'll be renewing our mass access subscription. It's that time of year again in January, so that'll be renewed. Also in your packet, there's the annual town report for FY 22 that needs to be done, so I will put that together and probably, well, we'll send it out to Steve and then to the group for comments or updates, but do not reply all.
Right. Did you want to mention that new paragraph you're putting in,
Which one?
the one you just talked about, how many affiliates are taking?
Oh, the affiliates, yeah, yeah, for sure.
This is a way we sell ourselves in a glossy report, so
Yeah, yeah.
definitely want the good news.
As Paul mentioned, the budget presentation went out, emailed out to everyone. And so to talk about the budget, I just mentioned that we will use the spreadsheets that we have and review where we are 6 months into FY 23. And Steve and I will be going through the process of doing that and come up with a proposed budget for FY 24 to share with everyone at the February meeting.
In preparation for that, if everyone was able to look through the one Joe just gave out, so if you have
It was the top.
questions or comments on that, then that's the time we will bring them up.
Does the town, I'm not talking about the overhead by having the use of the passive, but does the town actually provide any funds to running a PAC or public access? All supported by the cable access, the cable company fees, yeah. It's all supported by that, so we're not really costing. the
We
town.
actually pay rent
rent.
on TC Pacc,
So we're not costing the town.
that's 6,000.
We're paying.
Joe.
Yeah.
You have to send
Never
anything
spending
to
the
the
cost
town.
of it.
Right, Joe's
Like,
benefits
okay.
and things and salary,
The town account.
that all comes out of the PAC.
That's them.
That also-
That's called direct
Not to be
expenses,
put
I
on the
think, in
back
there.
pocket.
Okay,
So if
okay.
you send
Taken out of the
every
beginning
month,
of the year, it's
sub-market
like
account
45,000.
At Comcast. Not that they wanna do that, but
So it's not like we're going.
When I send stuff out, it's-
Okay, I hadn't
I
noticed, but
start off by saying is that if it's a
Great,
town
thank you.
hall, a town meeting or then can't. It's a separate budget, it's not coming from town monies.
so
Are we okay with that other meeting?
I'm
have
sorry,
two
what
meetings
meeting?
going, we-
Oh, yes, we're all set.
we're all-
But a review of the top form of in the packet is important. But also to note that the second page, which gives the details, an important point to mention is that with each line item, there is budgeted. And you can see on the balance how much is left from the budgeted. So that will tell you how quickly or
or sometimes
Slowly.
how slowly.
or slowly the balance is going down.
So, if there is a surplus at the end of the fiscal year, that it's just gonna roll into,
We keep
we
it.
keep it, unlike other, like the
Right.
public schools, right?
Right, we have a special fund set up. We're on about a third one now. I don't know. It's set up.
I
so
think
that
they
it can-
dissolved it.
It can roll over.
Oh,
I
okay,
think we're finally set up right.
right. I was thinking of the tech fund. Okay.
Thank you.
Actually, one thing, if you feel it necessary, we can have a meeting that's just on the budget. But I think normally we manage without doing that.
Right. Well, the timing's really important that you review it because we will bring a draft budget in
That's the
for February.
Yeah.
And you'll have to have input then and review and
Then,
approve of what's been put out there.
right, we finalize as a committee at our March meeting.
Right.
Then we present it to FinCom
March
on
23rd.
March the 23rd.
Mhm.
And we have to put in the town warrant by March the 20th, which is 3 days before FinCom approves or doesn't approve our budget.
Like other agencies in town, we're not asking the town. for-
We're not, we still need their approval.
Yes, understood.
But what happened last year, we ran into the same date confusion. Because how do you put the warrant in if you don't have approval on our budget?
Mhm.
And the warrant goes in without numbers in it. And then the numbers are added to it at
Once
the
it's
town
approved.
meeting. No, at the
Oh.
town
Yeah,
meeting.
down the-
Oh,
So what you see on the screen will have numbers in it. What you see in the white booklet that comes around doesn't have the numbers,
Mm.
which I think is confusing.
yeah.
But that's the way it works. We've had so much trouble over the years trying to get this sorted out.
Mm.
Well, especially
Why
when,
is it that we are scheduled last?
Because we're probably not asking for money, so they,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Well, we're
I'm
with
sure
sewer.
Sewer is.
Well, the sewer and cable are enterprise funds.
Right,
So we, and as an enterprise fund, we have our money parked somewhere earning interest. And we
That's
have a
also why
different,
we pay rent.
well, I think that's,
the way she explained it.
yeah, well,
what? No,
I'm not sure
She
about
said
that.
because we are an enterprise, that's why we pay rent.
Who said
Suppose
that?
Heather did in a meeting, I asked her.
Really?
Oh,
I'm surprised to hear
that's
that,
the first
but
time I've heard.
I asked her why we were paying rent, and then she explained that was the reason.
Well, before we were an enterprise, we were paying rent.
yeah,
yeah,
We've been paying rent all along, so. There's something slightly confusing there.
The rent go up.
It shouldn't be in rent.
We're a town department. I'm with him. We shouldn't have to
Shouldn't
pay
pay
rent.
In fact, they should be paying us for services. True.
And no, that
Yeah,
last
that's-
bit, I'd have difficulty arguing that. Because we get money specifically to do this. But I understand your principle absolutely.
Well, then,
Our principal's a great guy.
about the rent, should we be
No,
not asking about it?
first off, it's very reasonable. Oh,
Okay.
sorry, you turn the recording off for a moment. First off, it's very reasonable.
Okay.
It's 6,000 for a year.
Yeah.
And includes utilities. Includes, snow plowing so we can get into the room,
Okay.
some level of cleaning.
trash removals.
I mean, like the university making the move payment of tax to the town, so we're just
Right.
paying for the overhead
But we also have
cheaper. discounted overhead.
Water service in there now, right?
Just so you know, the internet service is through the school. School pays for the
And they,
internet service.
they just gave
And I
us that.
believe the school pays the electric bill.
The school pays the
I
electric
think
bill?
so.
No,
Don't
we're a
call me.
town department.
No, but the school is
building.
paying the buildings.
Oh.
Actually,
The school pays for the custodial for the building.
yes,
And it pays for the internet for the building, that I know definitely.
but the building right now is a town.
Correct, but they
property.
charge, the agreement with the school, when this was all set up,
Okay.
the school would take over would pay for certain functions. And the town would do certain things.
But doesn't the town then pay the school to do those services?
The school's not paying rent,
The school does not pay rent,
so they, in lieu of rent,
Oh.
they're contributing to
Okay.
the.
so
support of the
they're paying,
How
I
about,
don't believe they pay rent.
how about we don't dig into this,
No, you shouldn't dig into this,
Okay.
because you're gonna find,
things we may not like.
you may not.
So
It's a
anyway,
weird arrangement.
Yes,
And it was set up very archaically,
right.
and now the building is in,
I believe the school still does maintenance overall.
and I think it does the
Property
plowing too.
So we are better off just wait and see.
Yeah,
Pay the $6,000, the
Yes.
building is gonna,
If you raise that, it may cause triggers to happen that will be difficult
the
to
new-
respond to.
As the use of the passios eventually becomes determined, then you'll
That's-
be able to. structure
right,
it.
and once they
You're right,
restructure the
that-
patio.
That's sort of what we're waiting. As a town department, we shouldn't pay rent.
any
As
news?
an
on this?
enterprise, maybe we should. I children. No.
Okay, anyways, I just think that these are important questions for.
Oh, no.
From the outside to understand, so, but I
Please.
also agree that we don't need to,
Advertise.
yeah, let's think about like. Line.
But my question is there any progress or any foreseeable progress on the building?
I have not been able to
Committee
attend
or-
their meetings recently, mainly
You
because
have
I
more
can't.
in your report?
Nope, just if there's any questions.
I haven't been able to attend their meetings recently, mainly because I can't find out when they're on.
They've got one on the 12th coming up.
Thank you. If you know, feel free to let me know.
Okay,
But they also have been known to cancel them at the last minute as well, which makes life difficult.
Trying to write it down.
oh, there is one, I'm sorry, there is one minor, huh?
You have a leak in your ceiling.
That's what I was just gonna get to. We have a major leak in the ceiling in the studio.
Oh, very good.
It's deluge came down. What happened down there?
Monomoy Regional High School, their local cable access is part of the high school, it's in their building. And the sprinkler system failed and destroyed the entire infrastructure.
Well, we don't have a sprinkler system, so.
Well, only when it rains hard
It's still not done.
or the snow melt,
Is there
yeah.
any spot near that wall?
Yes, it's near the wall and it came very close to destroying some equipment, so. Heather Lemieux is aware of it and is working the issue. The town does not have a facilities director at the moment. But they've called in the school facilities director just to look at it and help. Help through the process, but I'm not sure how involved he's gonna get. So Heather mentioned she was going to contact some roofing companies. So that's where we're at right now.
Contact some more
But if they're
companies.
are they gonna tear down the school or are they gonna
No,
use
but
it?
that's-
There's no.
As Pete just said, your grandchildren's
Yeah.
grandchildren will know the answer.
It'll be a historical weight.
Yes, but it's.
Steve and I are aware of leaking ceilings.
There's also, I have a concern in that room
There was
that
ale in every room.
I have a concern in that room where the flooring needs to be sealed again because it's getting chalky in spots and it's asbestos.
Yeah,
So I don't feel comfortable being in that room.
no, I don't blame you.
And you address that with Heather or?
Have not addressed it with anyone yet. I'm gonna
We
do
really-
that right away.
Really need the facilities director.
We
don't
We
have-
do.
This is, we're on
It
our
hasn't-
third one.
No one's been taking the place since Wanda.
No. They've hired 2 people, but they both left within a month.
Really?
Mhm.
One gentleman left in one day, literally one day.
Wow.
Is that
I'm the
right?
only one up for a beer.
It was very quick. There was one gentleman who left very quick.
Wow.
Maybe we should buy him a shiny truck and he'll stay.
I'll
But what they
stay forever
did
if
do
you
is
buy
they
me a
divided-
shiny truck.
I believe they divided the job so that the school has a facility person and the town will have a facility person.
I guess so.
So they've been able to get school has been able to get a facility person. Yeah, but the town hasn't been able to get one.
Town can't steal the schools. facility person.
You'd have to, that's up
We
to,
will
With
sign a
all the
teacher's
buildings
agreement
that
the
are
first day.
under,
I see.
right.
you know.
I
with
think
all
that
these
what happens
tests and
is-
all those issues.
I think it's a monumental task.
Yeah.
It's proving that way.
Yes.
Okay,
Do you need a
my,
motion from us to move that the station manager, or whatever your title is officially, meet with the town manager to discuss the dangerous working conditions in the studio?
I don't think so. I did make her aware, so I don't think
Well,
we
but
need
you
a
said you
motion.
haven't done a asbestos issue.
No, I
Yeah,
haven't brought
That's-
that one
That's
up.
concerning.
That's
Yeah.
concerning.
Why couldn't it just all be removed, or is that like?
Everything in the room would have to be removed.
Yeah.
So then they could do
That
that.
the building get shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
When they tore the high school down there, took floors out first.
And we don't know if there's lead paint, which was the other
They say you
question.
can ask for a rug, but then ceilings leaking.
We're not allowed to drill
A
holes.
rug
in
isn't a
them.
bad idea at this point, because I don't know when they're gonna get around to sealing the floors. I've had them sealed.
Once that I remember, like 3
Once,
years ago, maybe 3.
yeah,
There are some though that.
Pre-COVID.
pre-COVID,
It's already losing its sealant.
right.
It's-
Well-
And it's not used, the studio's not used a lot,
Not much,
so a lot of it is fine, but over where there's editing. A lot of chairs moving around, a lot of people moving around, so I'm really nervous being in there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
They could put a big carpet down. though.
Or else like
Steve
put some
mentioned that.
plywood over it and encapsulate it temporarily,
Put what over it?
some kind of
Plywood.
plywood or something. to
Oh.
cover
Rug
it.
would be cheaper, I think. Plywood's very expensive. these
Yeah.
days.
It's just a big carpet.
Carpet
Actually,
would be
it'd good-
fine,
It'd be good for sound too.
yeah. I will look into that.
I guess we just want, I will speak for you,
Go ahead.
because I think we're sort of all together. We would like it to be looked into sooner rather than later. We share your concern about asbestos exposure.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it's
Okay.
something that really should be put to the top of the list.
Yep,
That would
Yeah.
be an ocean concern, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah,
Would you prefer me to go
that's
ahead
what I
with
was
it?
thinking too.
Do it together, because this
we
is
can do it together,
is getting serious.
yeah, we can do it together,
This works out.
sure.
Maybe we get an update on the way you can see the moon through the roof.
Mhm.
Different type of move.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's all I have.
I had one other question. You
Okay.
asked us to look at this and I'm sort of looking at it with the eyes maybe someone on FinCom. In July's column on the first page, the summary page,
Mhm.
there's an indirect cost total of 47,808. So can you tell me what that is?
That covers all of the expenses for the salaried employees, and in this case, that would be me.
So not all of them, the benefits for.
Right, it's the
it's not the
benefits,
salary.
it's the health health insurance, pension, and we've also budgeted. A portion of that amount is budgeted for the production technician we expect to get, because if we hired them, we'd have to have
Salary.
all their benefits in place.
Salary,
Yes, but they
On
would
the
be
top.
salary with benefits that we would. make
Right.
Contribution towards.
So the salaries would be the top line.
Right,
Yeah.
salaries are already
Okay.
up there.
At the
This
very
gets paid, gets taken from our funds on the first day of the financial.
First
year.
day of the year.
July first.
Right, about 9:05, as I recall. However, if we haven't used all of it, we don't have our production technician. What's in there for that person is returned to us at the end of the financial year. About 5 to 5 on June the 30th.
It goes into the following
Goes
year's
back-
direct cost or
No, no,
goes into
no.
the general fund?
No, absolutely, never say that.
Okay.
It goes into the enterprise fund, our
Okay.
fund. When you say general fund, it means the town.
Okay,
Or the state.
learning the nomenclature.
Oh, no, that's one of the few things we are trying to do.
Oh, you put it in there already.
Yep.
Okay.
So, we okay, Joe?
I think we're okay.
Spreading up good news and gloom news.
Yep.
Anyone have any further questions for Joe? In which case.
I just want to stress one more time that the second page of
Yeah.
the packet and where it shows how much was budgeted on that line item and how much the balance is. That'll really show you how we're going through the funds.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And this is, okay, so this is report through the end, so it's about not quite half the year, or it is half the year.
Just about it.
This is exactly half the year.
So, Mr. Sarapas,
Yes,
you have the floor.
Oh, okay, it's we tend to talk about the
Is the
policy review and update, so, my belief is that I was, asked to come up with a draft for a policy on the use of drones, so based upon our conversation about how Pacc does not want to be in the business of hiring drone operators, I made a first go with this. I don't quite clearly understand the, don't talk to everyone on email rules, so I just made a little sheet of
You
paper.
can send information out.
Okay,
You cannot respond to any information with a comment to everyone, because that violates open meeting law.
so in
So if I write comments, you can then write to me
one,
and say, could you please explain your comment? Or, I'm sorry, I didn't make that clear. You cannot send it to everybody.
because then that constitutes a meeting.
So you could have sent this out to us.
I could have said this out.
Yeah, but
Right.
we can't
Comment to
comment
everybody.
to you with a and all,
Right,
which is what a lot of people do. It
Yeah.
really bothers me. The people who answer emails and they just say, everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, I always hit respond to you.
right, okay.
All
And
those.
what's the default in the Outlook? Is it the default is it answers?
No,
to
I
all?
think, so I would imagine that some programs probably default answer everyone.
Yeah,
Mine doesn't, so
Mine doesn't. I have to pick it.
you have to,
It's still really easy to pick. You just.
yeah, I think most people have to pick and they just pick reply to everyone because they want everyone to know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Social media kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you can send out information. I send out the agenda, you send out information, you send out reports and all that. You cannot then reply back
to everyone.
to everyone saying, I just read Joanne's report, Joe, I'm sorry, my sister's Joanne. Joe's
I am
report.
Joanne.
Yes.
You know, and I think we should, you know, that would be violating open meeting.
So it's to sender, not to everybody.
Yeah, you just send it
Reply
to one,
to sender.
you can reply to the sender. When he sends out stuff, you can reply to Steve.
Yeah.
Then,
So tonight, we are trying to do a little wordsmith and get some feedback.
Right.
What I
You may
could have
send
done
this
is
out.
I could have sent you this and brought these pieces of paper
Right.
and people to mark up or whatever, but I could have just sent them to you.
yes,
And we could have shared them on Zoom, for example, if we so desired or whatever. Yes. Okay. So, anyways,
Would you like to read it out loud, please, so that
for the record,
for
or
the record and our.
this is a draft, Pack use of drone policy. Due to liability considerations, Lunenburg Public Access Cable Pack. Staff and volunteers are not permitted to use drones for video or still photography while on Pack videotaping shoots. Drone operators who, at events and other media or private citizens may access for coverage. Who use their own personal drone to videotape or photograph events that are also being covered by Pack. May voluntarily offer their video footage and or photography to Pack for use in their productions.
How about, I would only add, may voluntarily offer their, may offer for free. Because we're not gonna pay for anybody's,
I think we need to be as specific
as specific as
possible.
possible, just,
Yeah.
I don't
For
know.
no
if they're-
charge, I would just say.
Okay, no
for
charge,
Okay.
okay,
At no charge.
Judge.
that's better.
I think one of the things we made clear also is that no one can ask you to please do this at no charge.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I just said
Right.
voluntarily offer their video footage. And I did leave that question open for us to talk about, so if you want to add in,
It sort of says it, but I like
Yeah.
Pete's approach, so you should be explicit.
so be an additional sentence to add, in,
Yes,
which would say.
no one on the committee will
Well,
request.
why don't we just add,
So,
Well,
okay, volunteers,
for instance.
staff and volunteers are not permitted to
Solicit,
ask drone operators or use drones for video or still photography.
in the beginning, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
so if they're not permitted to use drones or ask for services, for drone services.
well, impact, or for Pack. Videotaping shoots, okay.
are you comfortable, Joe, or are you still slightly
Yeah.
confused?
No, I'm not.
That's fine, because I'm slightly confused.
I'm not,
I know what we're trying to.
I'm not confused. I think it's very good.
Thank you,
Trying to be as minimalist as possible as well,
but explicit.
but explicit.
Yeah.
It's clear, which I think is the whole reason we.
Right, oh,
decided to
yes.
get into this.
And generally, the fewer the words, the less likely it is that people can weasel around it.
Yes, and then at the same time, there's no real gray area here.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
So then the next step would be for me to clean this up.
Clean it up, send it out to all of us, we can review it at the next meeting, and we can send you comments. On.
Yeah.
What you've done.
Reply, stand up.
yeah,
So,
Applies in your own.
then what would happen, you're gonna send this out, please make sure you send it out to my Comcast email, because my government email is still. It's the one I'm sending out to everybody.
I know, it's. A little irritating that we're being tasked with using the town email and you can't.
I can't be,
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on it, that's a project for this.
Send this to you,
I've
project.
already emailed the IT person a few times,
Contact, yeah.
but it's,
Yeah.
he's on call.
Of
I'm not
course.
gonna do it. So, I would just ask that you please send us out a cleaned up copy
Yeah,
for our comments, and that we will only comment to you.
sounds good.
And it will remain on the agenda for next month.
Right.
I would drop the first paragraph. I mean,
Is
I
that-
didn't tell you one, but that's right.
you don't need to say that.
Okay. Do people agree with that?
What?
To strike, do
You
the
don't have
liability,
to explain.
We don't have to justify.
Right.
it.
just little buttons, this devil is not
Just
permitted.
leave it up. We're not doing it. So,
Okay. That's
Actually,
it.
that makes it much more definitive, you know, it's right in your face.
Yeah.
Don't.
No,
just can't-
Drone policy, don't.
Well, I know a lot of people go, well, why?
Yeah, good for
Well,
them.
why not?
Glad they're showing interest in the committee.
But you're right, if you say liability, someone says, well, I have $1 million liability insurance.
That's true.
So you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
But we don't want to even get into that business.
Right.
Right, so,
I
right,
think
That
getting
makes
rid of
it's policy, why? It's policy.
Yeah.
That's our job, we're making policy,
Still good,
okay?
everyone?
Capital A. Oh, that's you.
Okay, any other
Thank
questions
you
or comments on that? You're welcome. I'm apologize for taking a little long, but things take a while sometimes.
If you had more
Good
time,
idea,
you would have
so-
written a shorter paragraph.
Yeah,
Now,
Well,
what if
thank
you're
you.
on, question?
Yeah.
If you're on a shoot for someone that is not involved.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be involved with the 300th anniversary
yeah,
committee.
yeah.
Now, can I ask you to fill in for that? Because there's gonna be a lot of it. And it's not, I'm on
Does your,
Pacc,
does your committee have a budget to pay for it?
oh, brief, yes. Maybe after you.
Oh,
That might be a question for Heather, because
Yeah.
my quick reaction is I'm a little nervous about a conflict of interest because I'm on that
Well,
committee.
so am I. But
Yeah, but I'm the one who'd be possibly paid and hired to provide the
so
bill.
it may be the same deal then, you have to go the same way. You volunteer to do it for the town.
I don't see it that way. at all.
Yeah, it's fuzzy to me because like, if it's for Pacc. Then there's a conflict of interest because I'm on the committee, but if it's for the 300th anniversary committee. It's for 300th anniversary committee.
I think
the way-
it sounds perfectly legitimate to do it for another committee.
I would think so.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna take on the responsibility of any liability, and you're okay with that.
I suspect you might need to abstain from conversations about hiring and who you should hire for doing drone footage.
I wouldn't,
That was, I've talked to Pete, the
Oh.
issue is valid, right?
oh, because he's on this committee.
Right, if that committee wants to have drone footage, there really should be no communication with us at all.
Well, then the
And-
question
And
comes
then
up.
when it's done,
Sorry,
it's offered to us so that we can do what we like with it.
but then do you come to that you have to send out request for proposals? And then open it up to all vendors.
I got a feeling when that happens, there's so many drone people in this town and volunteers. Oh. It's, you were here for the last one.
The last 300th anniversary,
The last 275th. The town goes nuts.
do they?
It's-
Okay.
it's
I've been here 10 years.
That was in what, 1970? 2002 was the year. 2003. Ran all year long, all kinds of.
Oh.
The first live Pacc was done December 31st, 2000.
Oh.
Anyways, personally,
Never mind.
it's not up to make a lot of money with that.
That does go.
Buy a few batteries now and again would be sufficient for me to manage my money, so
Yeah,
it stays safe. though.
but
It's not a $49 drive.
you would,
No,
if
it's
you,
20,000.
no, it's not.
but I'm just wondering, if we wanted that footage
Not over bucks, yeah.
for the town,
Top two up classes.
he would have to volunteer to give it to us, but then that's where he might be on.
He was contracted with that other committee. He's wearing two hats.
That's fine. I would say right now, we don't really need to drill into it all that much. I hear you.
If you have
that
a
it
lot of
might
questions,
be
I would
construed.
just meet with Heather. and say,
Yeah,
This is what's going
yeah.
on, what are the ramifications
Whatever
for
we do
conflict
it,
of interest?
Yeah,
That's all.
He would.
Oh, yeah.
Steve, if we create a policy, we don't have to run it through bylaws or anything like that.
Nope.
So it is just
Not at the
our
moment.
responsibility.
Although you've got a big thing, no, none of your, well, several are in the bylaw, you don't have to add this.
That's kind of what I was trying to ask for.
We do have, the school committee has lots of policies,
Yeah,
they're not in the bylaws.
Okay.
Right.
You can add it to the bylaws if
Mhm.
you'd like to, and then there's a process of doing that where you can do that at town meeting.
right.
I would suggest not.
Okay. 'Cause one
You
thing-
probably would only need to do that, pardon me. If you really need to give some real teeth to something, but you
The
know,
problem, if you get it into the bylaws, then you're stuck with it until the next town meeting when you can change the bylaws.
That's where. that's
This
what
way
the-
here, you can do it, and then in March, you can go, oh my God, what were we thinking?
Right.
We're gonna have a meeting, and we're gonna take the next 3 months, discuss this, and come up with a revised policy. If you put it into the thing, then that's it. Oops.
At this point, I suspect the 300-year committee. Is going to have a discussion. If you want to do this, to make sure we're within the town. It's acceptable to the town.
That's true.
Are all your subcommittees and everything already?
Oh, no, they're still choosing. They're taking through the morning. What we did the last time, we shot from the roof of the town hall up through the building that was crumbling.
That's all just standing there.
Yeah, we had a backpack.
Traveling further.
A jetpack.
Using a drone at a
And
community
a
event.
parachute.
You have a permit?
You get some
No.
great shots from them.
No.
Lunenburg doesn't require a permit.
First of all. I have an FAA license, and so you are permitted to fly your drone. But there are restrictions, you can't fly directly over a crowd, and there's places where there are limited airspace. I can't go up to a certain height even here because of the Pittsburgh Airport, et
Yeah,
cetera. The application software actually will tell me if I'm in a no-fly zone. And those
Oh,
are
really?
determined, and those are determined by, and even if I'm starting to get or exceed the
The 400 foot or whatever.
exceed between 300 and 400, depending on what you are.
But you don't need police a permit.
No.
To operate at a public event.
I have, and you do not.
Because that would be what the committee would look into, the 300 committees, if you need to have a
In
permit.
2016, on the last day of the high school,
Mhm.
the entire building came up. And all the people who worked with it. And Harris Vickery took a shot with a drone over the crowd and to the new school. And there was probably 2,000, close to 2,000 people.
Mhm.
And we didn't, I don't believe he did.
No, they weren't available.
And there's also,
Reasonably.
if you get, and there's some very good $400 drones now that are under, I think it's under 5 pounds.
That's the other one.
You don't even need a license for that. And they're exquisitely quiet. Exquisite. They're quieter and they they do have to make noise. And the quality of the footage is
Yeah.
Great.
it's great.
Do they transmit it or store it?
Stored, so it has
That's the
on.
best quality if you store it.
Yeah, so it's got, what it does is, mine is it stores on an internal micro SD
Yeah,
card.
right.
And HD and RAW if you
Right.
want, and then it also stores on my phone, but that's a like a compressor or thumbnail.
Right.
Mhm.
So. not everything.
H264, that sound right? It's been a long time. since-
Yeah.
Yeah, H.264.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. So.
Oh, boy. So what we've done is, are you on the committee or you're going to be on the?
I
committee
am
tomorrow
on
night?
it. My wife's gonna be on the line.
So it sounds like you are aware of this and will be taken care of.
I think photography generally would be tremendous for that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'd like to help out if there's anything I can do to help.
You you sure?
Yeah, I just love this town so much. I
Tell you
really
right now, you
do.
can help us with a parade. We had a 2-hour parade. last time. 2-hour parade at the
I've
shrine.
never been involved in the
We have the
parade.
Shriners here. Every school around has their bands here. Every committee made a float. We should be making a float.
Well,
The last is 2
Don't look
hours.
at me.
I was just wondering about a
I'm
conflict.
gonna be writing on it. Only good. Doing the photographer.
Or with my video camera.
Okay, we should be proud.
Dusting the crowd with us.
I'm able to assist.
Did a little poll.
Down, I-
You guys like run contests for kids in the school, like a photo contest or a poster contest? or-
Schools are doing all kinds of things.
That's nice, very
Maybe a
good,
field day and Olympics. all
very
those kinds of
nice,
things.
good.
What's the date?
Okay,
It's 2028.
Oh, if I live long enough.
so why don't we close this particular topic?
Okay.
And
Thank you, that was good.
You're welcome and thank you for that.
Yes, thank you.
For your help, yeah. I'll have this out to Steve this week.
I guess we're still tabling the personal equipment policy. I
I do
really
have,
think we want to make sure we get this drone one settled.
yeah, I did try to make some, I made some calls and I'm waiting for some emails to come back. I'm gonna guess that nothing came from Mass Access. Was to make it-
No, I was surprised at that.
Nothing.
Yeah,
No
No.
interest in that question.
So, when I talked to, a good, close, dear friend who was for years the executive director of Walden Access TV. He told me, what? What are you talking about? We never cared about that. So he said that. I said, so I gave him sort of a for instance, well. Say, I'm a paid videographer for Pacc and, there's multiple events happening, and you want, coverage has been requested for all of them, and you have 6 cameras and you have 7 events. And let's pretend I'm the, videographer and I've got my own camera and I offer to use that to cover the event. There's a concern, I believe, that, if my equipment gets damaged or lost during that event, then Pacc's on the hook for taking care of it. So he said, well, why don't you just have a waiver that people would sign? So like if, because I'm saying, so I could lose, as a freelance videographer, I can lose a job because there's not enough equipment to go around. If I have my own video camera, I can go do the job.
We do have a videographer that likes to use his own equipment. And I know it's our policy not to allow it, so whenever possible, I'll have him come in and get some video equipment from the studio. But there have been certain instances where he was on the road and he was going directly to an event or sports or what have you, and he took his own camera. He's aware of the policy. I mentioned the policy. It's not on him, it's on me. I like the idea of a waiver because every now and then you just can't get out of them using their own equipment.
Yeah.
There's certain situations that arise. It's not something you want to do all the time, but I like the idea of a
So
waiver.
it would be a waiver per event rather than a blanket waiver. When you recruit a videographer,
I
I believe that's what you were just saying.
I suppose it could be per event, but a blanket would be even better.
There's one reason this came up is, I don't remember who it was, I'm not sure they're even still with us. We're using different standards.
Mhm.
I think they were maybe using tapes instead of SD cards or something. And that-
Can't remember.
It was a while back that triggered this conversation. But it
Yeah,
wasn't just the liability either way. I mean, if he takes his own equipment and the battery catches fire, I love it in battery. Battery catches fire, again, what's our liability?
Mhm.
So we have to be very careful
Mhm.
writing the waiver is all I'm saying.
Mhm.
Give it the appropriate time.
Does it come up much? I know you just told us a story about someone who's on the road with their own equipment, but in your day-to-day operation, over a period of a year, does it happen much where people want to use their own equipment for some
No.
reason?
No,
Well, this standards issue was before COVID, it was quite a long time.
yeah.
He was using, whatever he was doing wasn't compatible with the
I can
entire rest of
remember.
our system.
Right.
What else we do? So,
That's using VHS tapes.
let me just think, yeah.
So
He was
anyway,
using laser discs.
Really, you serious? Well, could have been.
wax cylinders.
Wax.
It's amazing how this stuff goes like to zero value, remember Betamax,
Yeah.
Betacam?
Yeah,
that was the high end of broadcast.
right.
Like, I had people trying to give them to me, 10 years after they went obsolete, it's like. No one wants it, and I
Yeah.
couldn't give them away.
You only made one mistake, you'd only get 1 hour on it, so you couldn't put a movie. Killed it and Sony's.
Oh,
did you?
Don't throw it away.
Oh, yeah.
50 years,
Right,
Well,
You don't wax
God,
on.
I was working for school, so they wouldn't.
That's scary. Right.
I couldn't have taken the donation person. Very dumpster somewhere.
so we leave it on the agenda, thank you for the discussion and keep it wandering around your mind.
So, okay. But do we continue talking about this month to month, or do we want to come to some sort of decision as to what we would like to pursue?
My preference is we put the drone policy away and then take this one up seriously.
Okay. So drones down for next month to basically vote on the policy. Hold on.
Yeah.
And,
Drone policy.
and this is to be continued.
Yeah.
And I'll continue to make some calls to talk. to
Sure.
folks as
Thank
well.
Fine.
Do you want to draft a proposed, on personal equipment?
Yeah, you want,
Waiver.
If you talk to people and they say we use a waiver, ask them for a copy. of the
yes,
waiver.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah,
Just
Exactly.
Take someone else's.
so that was your question.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's kind of model for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was
we
figured
have
out on-
Contacts and that's good.
Yeah. and maybe
Oh,
maybe
I've already
anything,
put it out
maybe,
there.
Oh, waiver, no.
Chad, does anyone use
Yeah.
waivers for personal equipment? If so, can we have a copy?
And some of those stations we visited, if you still have their business cards, I
Who
don't know
knows
if
them all
I do.
anyway?
Yeah. Some of the, like Wakefield and some of the fun places we went to,
You just ask me for letters, but
yeah.
why go field?
Okay, moving right along, I plan to skip the next item on the agenda. Which is the adjournment.
Oh, really?
Because
You want to sit here all night?
before we do,
February.
before we do that, we should set the next meeting date.
Next meeting date is set for February 6th, 6 o'clock in this one.
Everybody good with that?
Yes,
Yes.
Move to adjourn.
second.
No discussion, all those in favor, starting with Paul,
I.
Pete, Steve,
All right.
Faith, me,
Aye.
aye.
This is a bye, 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 happy new year.
Look what you've done.